ask you a question. Here's my biggest beef, or not even my biggest beef, but like my biggest like question is, how the hell is Chicago in financial trouble?
Oh man.
I mean, when we look, I mean, this is going to be part of something else we're going to talk about tonight anyway, I think, but it blows my mind with the amount, you know, because we're talking about all the amazing things that Chicago has, right?
Right.
And I only hear whispers because I'm not from Chicago. I didn't grow up here, but I hear whispers from people I talk to as to why we're in Chicago and we're in financial trouble, and it all leads back to like corruption or whatever, but
that's
I mean,
pretty.
Here's the thing. How is that possible with I mean, I live in the city. I see all the tourists all the time and all the shit that's going on.
There is
all
an
the commerce.
amazing amount of wealth in this city.
Yeah.
100%. But there's, Ron, I'll let you go first because this is, okay, so this is great. This is exactly what I wanted from this segment because you coming from Texas and now being here, this is like, you're like, you still, even having lived here 3.5 years, you have this question, which is amazing. Us fucking living here our entire lives, bro, we know. And the thing is like, we know, but even though people know what the problem is, it still doesn't get fixed.
I mean, here's the other sub part of that question is, what the fuck happens if a city goes bankrupt? Do they just shut down?
That is.
I mean, does
great
everybody
question.
have to leave?
Does
everybody have to leave? I mean,
Great
does it become like an
questions.
apocalypse?
It becomes like when the federal government shuts down. Nobody gets into museums.
I haven't bought a house here, right? So I mean, I know if it shuts down, I just move back to El Paso, Texas.
Right.
If they'll take me.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, what happens if a city goes bankrupt? I haven't done that. I haven't gone that far.
That's a great question. Well, we don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know,
We're
man.
hoping it doesn't happen, but it's getting close.
I hope that doesn't
state.
happen. It just seems like it'll be something like really horrible. I mean, when I hear about a state going bankrupt, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me is like Flint, Michigan, how it'll just be issues. I feel like things would just start to just happen and just terrible.
How the hell does that happen, though?
Okay. All right, let's get it. Do you want to go first?
Well,
Ron,
I'm just going to say a couple things. One, I mean, our state, it starts at the state level.
It's a state level.
The state level
and here's one thing before you get into that. The state and the city are not as always intertwined as people think they are.
Exactly.
So that's another thing.
Yeah. I think it starts at the state level. I mean, when you have governors indicted consecutively, you know, for the state. So
Rod Blagojevich, oh my God.
Hey, what's up with Blago?
Hashtag Blago. Hashtag Blago's a creep.
Lego hair, Blago.
Yeah.
Man, and I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot of ghost payroll, you know, here in Chicago, construction. It's just a lot of.
I'll give you a couple of prime examples. Okay, so there's.
I mean, I'm not going to wake up in a box tomorrow morning with a cement pour like above my head, am I?
No.
It is a gangster town, man. Don't let it. Don't get it twisted, man.
We're not calling out anybody's name.
We're not calling nobody.
Just don't be like Charlie Barons and start saying you're going to drop a line or anything like that.
No, bro.
That has a completely different meaning in Chicago where. You might be in the bottom of that river that you don't want to be in if you're saying the wrong things. But no, all right, look. So here's a couple of things, and these are the things that everybody knows, and in some cases people will say out loud, but shit just goes away. And we've talked about some of that shit on this podcast already. So number one, at the state level, there is a guy who is like the legitimate Scott Underwood. What the fuck is his name? Kevin Spacey's character, Frank Underwood. He is like Frank Underwood. Okay, his name is Mike Madigan. He fucking runs the goddamn.
Let's just put it out there.
Mike. No, for real. It's Mike Madigan. No, for real. But everybody fucking knows this. Bro, we've talked about articles where okay, so he's still in his own district. He had we did this story on the podcast. There was a Hispanic guy who was running against him in his district. Guy wasn't gonna win. Mike Madigan's team still put up two other Hispanic candidates. They're looking at this right now. It's getting federally investigated. They put up two other Hispanic candidates. They didn't run. They didn't do anything. They just put the names on the ballot and did the basic minimum shit just to siphon votes away from the main guy who was getting minimal. Mike Madigan wasn't losing. He still had his aides do that shit just to ensure that there was no way he would potentially lose his seat. The guy's been in power for over 3 decades. Man.
Yeah.
His daughter, he got in as the attorney general.
Right.
He's gearing her up to become probably governor or something else at some point. He runs the fucking state, dude. He runs it. He's been the Speaker of the House for, I think, legitimately 3 decades now. And he he is on record having stated that he hasn't given funding for certain projects to help like the African American community in the Chicago.
Tell him.
In order to hold it over Republicans when they're running or if they're in power. I mean, the man is on record having said this, and yet he still wins because he's in a district where he makes sure he wins, and then he runs the fucking state, and that's why the state is bankrupt. Here's another great example.
Tell him.
They passed a law and it went through where they said basically the law states any money that so if you're on the highways, TJ, you're on the Dan Ryan, not the Dan Ryan, you're on like this, if you're on the Reagan or if you're on the Ike where they actually have tolls, or 355, all that money that you pay on the tolls can only go to road construction and road repair now. So first people are like, oh, well, that makes sense. The roads suck, so we should just. But here's the thing.
Who runs the construction companies?
Boom, TJ. Boom, boom. His cronies who donate tons of money to his stuff.
So they're getting those contracts.
Yeah, they're getting all those contracts for that. And here's the thing that's fucked up. Now there's so much money in there because think about how many cars, and it's like $1.50 for every time you pass through. Think about how much money that is on a daily basis, on an hourly basis.
Yep.
None of that money, dude. We're in a fucking pension crisis. There are fucking firefighters, police officers, and teachers who aren't getting fucking paid. And there's money in this fund that could help to siphon that off and help it out. Can't be touched now. All that money just goes to the. It's basically like a cycle that goes through. So there's one reason for you. Money is just there that it can't be touched, which is horrific. Number two, the city of Chicago has been poorly run for many, many years, starting with Daley. Like Daley was basically like the other Frank Underwood for a long time.
You got to start with Dad Daley first.
Oh no, for real. No, Dad Daley first.
Because Dad Daley,
Holy
he
shit.
was like Mike Madigan. I mean, he was like mayor forever.
Yeah.
Wait, can we back up a minute and just? Sure. I'd like to just express that Mike Madigan sounds like a fake name from it's like from the movie Billy Madison or something.
Well,
I mean Happy Gilmore or something like Mike Madigan.
TJ,
really?
TJ, no joke. Right now in my 9-to-5 job, my sales job, I'm calling on a Mike Madigan, and I don't know how I feel about
You're
that.
probably giggling every time you like to say his name.
Every time I'm hoping I get through actual Mike Madigan, and it's like him, and he's like, I'm like, dude, you're running a fucking trading. It might be him. I don't even know. Like you're running a trading company too, dude. How many hands and how many cookie jars do you fucking have, bro?
All of them.
All of them, literally. This is a perfect time. This is like a Daniel Day-Lewis and fucking what is that movie? There Will Be Blood. Mike Madigan is Daniel Day-Lewis. He's like, I take your milkshake. I put my fuck it all up. That's basically what's happening in this state, bro.
He's just sucking up everybody milkshake, dude. That's so whack.
I've been wanting to fucking do that on this podcast for the longest time now.
And
I'm gonna clip that shit. That's gonna be the end of the podcast from now on.
That's how we end. I'm gonna suck you up out of this show.
That's right. Right now it ends with "Don't be a dick, be a ditka," but I might change that now. So I mean that's why.
I get it, and I think I kind of know the answer to the question before I ask it, but it just blows my mind. It just leads back to why politics suck completely, and why parties, by the political parties, both suck in my mind, and why I've kind of I don't talk politics or religion, but especially now during this political climate, why I've clearly gone to a more independent stance, because I don't fucking get it. I don't see how it continues to happen. And in Chicago's one thing, and the financial crisis of Chicago is one thing, but when you just look at like the political climate across the board, it's fucking ridiculous.
It just pisses you off
and childish.
You feel like
it's so stupid.
It's stupid. You feel like you have your hands are tied. There's nothing you can do. We just have to sit and wait.
Yeah, there is nothing. I mean, even
you can do
voting.
Sit around and bitch.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the whole thing. Even if you're voting, it's almost like
it's a joke.
They're constantly rewriting districts.
Still vote, everybody. Still do it.
Still go out and vote, but I think
you have to.
What I think is bullshit is that you listen to politicians, and I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican or whatever, but there's been issues with every president, right? It's not just, and I know that if you're strong political tie to one party or the other, you're going to argue for your party. That's great, but no president or at any level of government, no politician ever gets into office. It seems like, I could be wrong. You could point someone out to me and show me someone that's done it, but everything better lunches in the cafeteria and longer recess. I mean, it all just seems to be bullshit, and it's all party based. And then you get in the office and you just do what your party says and fucking move down the road.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are like that, and there's a lot of instances like that. It's all power plays in there. I mean, I love talking politics,
but I don't talk politics.
I know. I'll do it, man. I geek out on this shit.
I'm gonna get you started, and then I'm gonna say I don't talk politics.
I know, right? Well, we'll get off of this, but what I'll just say is you are 100% correct in everything you just said, and it's completely crazy how things are, and it's at all levels. But the one point I was going to make is this, right? So politics, and that's primarily the point of this podcast. We're not afraid to talk about these things, so they need to be talked about. People need to know.
Hell no.
I mean, people need to know, because people know, but sometimes they don't know what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to help bring this information on this podcast and have honest conversations like this. No,
I like that, and I'm not educated enough to bring the knowledge, but I do have I pose the questions. Because what the fuck?
I appreciate that, and so here's just a general thought about politics in general, and this goes back to the formation of this country.
Oh shit! Hey, just about to get deep, y'all.
For real, if you read Alexis de Tocqueville's book Democracy in America, there is a whole section where he talks about how good people will not run for office because once you are in office, it is impossible to be good.
Exactly. You're corrupted.
And you get corrupted. And good people they can see that is going to happen to them, and they choose not to do so. So you get folks who are politicians who are willing to go, you get people who probably still go into it altruistically and want to do well.
I believe that.
I believe there are a lot of people who do that. But fuck, Jesus, just within this last decade, there have been several politicians on both the Democratic and Republican sides who were in office and basically were like, I'm not running again because nothing's getting done anymore. This partisan shit is off the rails. And
there's no partisan.
I used to be able to work with people, and now I can't work with people. So I'm out. Bye.
Bipartisan is right.
It's not even a thing.
My favorite saying is I work with both sides of the aisle.
Right.
Bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, come on, bro.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. No, you
can't.
You work on both sides of the aisle if they agree with your party.
That's correct. Yeah. And it's just God, we're getting.
And I'm not blaming the actual individuals. It's just politics.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes back to, and that's always.
But it's politics. I feel like I will just say the reason why I dislike politics is because I really think that it's all done. It should be based around doing what's best for our country and for the people of this country. And really, it just comes down to party. And I think it trickles down to individuals, too, because if you talk to individuals on either side that are, I hate the term far left or far right, but if you talk to people that are very narrow-minded and just, have gone to the extreme, there is no fucking reasoning. There is no reasoning as to, but what is best for the nation, or what is best for the people as a whole. There is no fucking reasoning on that. It is just, this is the way I see it, and if you don't see it this way, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what? We're tolerant of everybody unless they don't agree with us. Fuck you.
That's right. 100%.
You know what I mean?
And that comes back to...
It's just bullshit preaching.
It comes back to this state and to this city of Chicago. Same difference. We, on this podcast, have talked about numerous situations where money is just going to projects and things, and we're just like,
it's like, what?
I'm sorry, we have this money?
Yeah.
Why is it not going? Yo, in fucking Harvey, they're trying to fucking, I'm pretty sure it's Harvey, they're trying to, literally, there's lead poisoning, brain damaging water because fucking pipes over there haven't been updated for fucking decades.
Yeah.
And we can't get them the fucking money that they need, but we're going to build a fucking library or a fucking the George Lucas Museum. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the whole thing. It doesn't make sense. And to your point, what you just said, that is another reason why this city is bankrupt, because money is going to places that it shouldn't be going to.
It should not,
because because of the politics, people are just trying to get reelected. That's really all it is. I mean, fuck, motherfuckers in office spend so much of their time doing fundraising and to basically do what my job is, cold calling.
Bro, don't
fucking
even get
people.
me started
Holy
on
cripes.
fundraising and how much money is raised, how much money people give for fund, for like political campaigns.
And then so
Right.
that gets shady too, because you get people donating. You get these shady individuals donating to these parties. Why are you taking money from these people? You know what I'm saying? So it gets,
They just want you to do something for them later.
Of course.
Nothing's.
Nothing. Hey, you get
it's all quid pro quo.
Yeah. You don't get something for nothing.
That's right.
Know?
Not when it comes to the upper echelons of politics in the state, and particularly in Chicago. And that's
especially
another thing.
In Chicago.
Is that the city of Chicago is constantly fighting for money from the state.
Look at Chicago, how they just sell off stuff to private, companies.
Mm-hmm.
The pay boxes. They got rid of the actual old machines that we had, and you got these privatized companies, and they come in and they scoop all the stuff up. So that right there it just lets you know they're not trying to do anything for us. It's all about people lining their pockets for their greater good.